Well, today has been one of the best single trading sessions that I've ever had in 24 hours. We're going to be talking about how I made over $2,000 from swing trading. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you guys do, hit that like button and subscribe. And if you guys want to learn more about swing trading and trading in the market, check out our school. It's absolutely fantastic. We have private live streams, we have quizzes, we have a group chat, but more importantly, we actually teach you to trade. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not alerts or anything like that. It's honest strategies that I've learned over the past 7 years of swing trading. So check it out down below. It's awesome. It's like a college class. There's a final exam. There's a group chat. It's an 8-week course, and you have lifetime access. We constantly update it. So check it out. You won't regret it. And it's called the Swing Trading Masterclass. I'll see you guys in there, and let's jump into this. So in 24 hours, I made over $2,000, which for me, as a 7-year veteran, I wouldn't even call myself a veteran in the trading world. I consider myself actually a student to the market, but some of you may consider me a veteran because I do this full time. But anyways, making a trade in 24 hours, making over $2,000 is something that doesn't happen quite often. We often hear this expression, high risk, high reward. And often I never hold a position through an earnings report because we've seen a company get absolutely obliterated because of an earnings. And then on the flip side, like today, we saw stock pop up 15%. We bought in the day prior, but we actually got in preparation of buying more, which obviously looking back, it's kind of crazy because we could have made more money off it if we would have went in with the same amount of capital that we normally do, but we are still trying to minimize risk and maximize reward. So we took a little bit of a lighter position, but we could have made over like $4,000 or $5,000 with our normal account size. But let's talk about why we bought it. Let's turn to the computer. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, so the stock was Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. Now, one of the main reasons I absolutely love this is as we look at like the daily chart here, the stock has this really good upward trend. And one of the things that I look for is support levels. As we look at this blue line here, what do we notice, right? We notice the stock has good tendencies of hitting it and getting buying pressure. Hitting it, getting buying pressure. It's not every time, of course, but hitting it, getting buying pressure, hitting it, getting buying pressure, hitting it, buying pressure, hitting it, buying pressure. So recently, right, it sold off down to that level again, all the way from about $943 all the way down to about $827. Now, for me, entering here was a pretty good option, right? You could enter here, but one of the things that I was nervous about, like how we saw in here, where it hit that 90-day moving average line, but it sold off more. So I was waiting for a confirmation, and I'll talk more about that here in a second. But also looking at the RSI, at the time of purchase, it was trading at about a 44, which the last time it was trading for a 44 was back in this zone. And what happened? It had good buying pressure. So now as we look at it and we start to establish a strategy or a checklist, before we enter, we want the stock to have an upward trend. We want it to have some sort of support level. We want an undervalued RSI, right? So those three things have to be in tune before we take a trade. The next thing, and more importantly, is our entry. For me, for entry points, I use lower time frames. I use other time frames because one time frame could be telling you one thing and then another could be telling you another. You guys will notice that Netflix has seen some good sell-off from that 935 mark all the way down to that 825. But how do you know that the stock isn't going to just get more sell-off? So there's something called a breakout strategy, which is waiting for confirmation. You guys can see this general downward trend where it hits this line several times and it just establishes resistance. So ideally what we did is we set an alert above it. You also will notice that that same approach happens with moving average lines. Look at this red line here. This red line is what we call the 200-day moving average line. It hit it and we had some sell-off, establishing resistance. So we threw an alert right above it. I thought, okay, if this thing pops up above it, I'll go with a light position because the next day is earnings. If the stock gets some sell-off, I could average down on that price and I could wait for the recovery of it. And if it squeezes up, then I have some shares. I can make some good money off it, and I'm very happy with that. And obviously, It went up, right? It went up. The stock went from about $867 all the way up to over $1,000. Now, this is important. With trading, you never want emotion to play a factor. And at the end of the day, if you make 3% per month, you are you are in the top 5% of all traders in the world. So with a stock like this that squeezed up 15%, do you think I covered profit right when the market opened? Yeah, I did. And I think that's what a lot of traders need to do. They think that the stock they're in on is going to go up to 1,000 or 30,000 or they're going to make $1 billion off a single trade. No, I understand how hard this is to do, right? I understand how hard it is for this to happen. I understand how rare this is. So I am going to cover profit. In a single day with 15%, I'm going to cover profit. And that's exactly what we did. The market opened, we took our profit, and obviously, look, I wasn't the only one that started selling positions. You guys will notice this thing just started selling off like crazy. So now you look at it and you go, okay, right, sold off. Now we could see a little more recovery. Well, no, because the stock was still up 9% in a single day. So for me to think about it, an entry point, for me to think about it, we want trends. Trends are your friend. Okay, so we would want an entry, I would say around 885 would be here. That would be the approach I would have, is entering on that dip or on some sort of moving average line. Because often what happens is any action in the market is often an overreaction. So probably in the next week, we'll get some consolidation, we'll get some sell-off. If we get buying pressure, okay, we missed out on some money, but the risk was too high. You have to always involve your risk tolerance. My risk with this stock was very good. Entering at that price, putting our target not even up to those levels that it was at, over $1,000, was a 4-to-1 almost risk and reward, which is really, really good. So that's the approach I had. And don't forget, guys, the broker I use is Moomoo, which is the best broker for traders. I'll put a link to him down below. You guys can get up to 20 free stocks just by signing up. But guys, this is how I made over $2,000 in 24 hours from swing trading. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you guys did, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to use code 100 to get 50% off our course. I'll see you guys in there. Take care, everybody.